We've reached the business end of this World Ultimate Club Championships. The round of 16 starts right now in the men's division in Southern Ohio. It's New York's Pony and Japan's Nomadic Tribe. Pony looking for its first World Championship, trying to get to the quarters for the first time. Nomadic Tribe was in the quarters 4 years ago. Can they replicate it with the upset? Good afternoon, everybody. Alongside Tyler Byram, I am Evan Lepler. It's been a disjointed day, Tyler. Played this morning and then the long delay, but the intensity of this game should be massive. And for Pony, they have big ambitions here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, Pony's a team that definitely feels like they can contend for this World Championship. They've been on the ups on the U.S. side of the Ultimate stage for the past several seasons, winning the U.S. Championship back in 2018. And right now, they've been able, throughout the process, to assemble an all-star cast of characters on their roster. Several World Games players here for Team USA. And they, as you said, Evan, have high hopes. And so far, so good. They've been outstanding in their games.
They are incredibly talented, and they have not lost a game yet in the tournament. Meanwhile, Nomadic Tribe played early this morning. It was supposed to be a 9 a.m. game, started around 10, and they were embracing the legend of Sho Okajima, who had 47 assists in the first 6 games of the tournament, but they shut that Japanese sensation down, and Nomadic Tribe won 15-5 in a pure demolition. So they come in confident, and they come in with belief. Winner of this game will face the winner of Buzz Bullets and Mephisto. Again, this is the lower half of the bracket.
And that result here for Nomadic Tribe, beating Rascals in that manner. They had some tough games in their power pool. They lost to GOAT 15-14, lost to Clapham 15-12. Those were really tough losses for this team. They were there for the duration of the game and then losing them at the end, and then with the conditions this morning, able to weather the weather and make it all the way through, and a really commanding win for this team. They look to go up against the best here in Pony.
It's a fascinating matchup, certainly not one that New York sees very often. And look, Jimmy Mickle, one of the many superstars on this New York squad, on the line with Jeff Babbitt and Ben Yacht, among other superstar talents. But the Nomadic Tribe is a team with depth that they showed this morning, that they can fluster an opposition and they can capitalize quickly after a turn. The wind will be a factor this afternoon as well, Tyler. It is quite breezy, and not just because you're on the mic. Beautiful conditions though, low 80s. And the wind is kind of coming across the field from the far side to the near side.
Yeah, this is the strongest wind we've had in this tournament. We've had some gusts here or there, but this is really strong that it's definitely going to be a battle. It could turn into an upwind, downwind affair. We're going to have to see. Obviously, the strength of Pony and always the elite passing that we typically see from Japanese teams will be trying to navigate through it. But winds are quite strong. It said 11 miles per hour on our graphic right there. I would guess the gusts are a little bit higher than that.
I would agree. Nomadic Tribe began on defense this morning. Hi, Antoine. They started the game with 5 consecutive breaks. New York Ponies O-line has not been broken more than once and a half so far this tournament, but as their head coach, or their co-head coach, Ben Van Hoevelen, said, they weren't broken more than once and a half in the national final last year either, and they did not win that game.
Well, and one thing too, Pride of New York hasn't had to deal with the weather conditions that you or I or many of the other teams that are still in this tournament have had to deal with. They were over at the hotel just casually having a day side banter, but they were intense. They were game planning. They were looking ready to go, and those jerseys are quite dry for the Pride of New York team.
Sean Keegan, Harper Garvey, Jimmy Mickle, with Sam Little, Jeff Babbitt, Ben Yacht, and Pony newcomer John Lithio, who's just another weapon for the O-line to employ.
Seeing some strategic poaching here from Nomadic Tribe. Really trying to maybe test these matchups early, see where they want to attack, as that's not a guy you want to leave open in Ben Yat.
Keegan with a good chunk gainer. Here's Mickle, about 10 yards out. Picked up by Takahashi Ishii. I mean, the Pride of New York team certainly has size with every single matchup on the field. Little left alone for a moment.
Good roll from the handler spot. I think we're going to need to see that a lot, and a lot of communication on the Nomadic Tribe side.
Well, no one on ponies played the role of Sho Okajima, which is to say no one's just catching it and gunning it for the end zone like the 27-year-old rascal with 50 assists in the tournament has done so many times. The patience leads to production. Mickle to Yacht, and a clean hold to start for Pony.
Yeah, Pony easily able to work it down the field. And then once they got in that last quarter, right around the brick mark, they went into what has become the traditional end zone offense for U.S.-based teams over the past several years. Dump and swing, handler-initiated movement, hoping for a cut to have that continuation over into the corners. And they just remained patient and able to get an early hold.
We've seen Jeff Babbitt make so many insane defensive plays. It's certainly that he's known more for his defense than his offense, and it says something that they're playing him on the starting O-line. He is very smart with the disc. His throws are underrated, and if they do happen to turn it over, there aren't too many defenders in the world to get the disc back than Jeff Babbitt.
Yeah, and that's always a stereotype with good O-lines, right, is that they can't go out there and play defense. Well, you can't say that about this Pony team when Babbitt's on the line. Acts as if he's an extra defender. Are we sure it's 7-on-7? Yes.
They've got a lot of coaches out there on the line. Cody Mills joining the staff. Justin Pierce, who's the director of scouting and analytics for Pony. And we should apologize to Justin because he was the lone member of the Pony coaching staff that was wearing the rain early this morning when the rest of the coaching staff was just lounging around. Justin Pierce was doing the hard work out here in the conditions and the elements watching Nomadic Tribe, and he was impressed. It was hard not to be impressed with what Nomadic Tribe did to their fellow countrymen, the Rascals, this morning.
Yeah, he's owed a couple beers after that. We're owed a couple beers. Anyone that was out here is owed a couple beers.
There's a beer tent just around the corner. Deep shot launched by Seki, and it is red, but just off the fingertips of Yuasa. Inches away from the equalizer. Instead, Pony's got a break chance.
The spot on that throw was good, but the wind just kept carrying it over the left shoulder of the receiver. That's nice and crisp. And you see there at the wind, there's one bump, and then the last one there just off the fingertips.
Ben Katz initiates, finding Grant Lindsley and John Randolph. And the all-star names continue. Here's a towering shot. Antoine Davis unable to sky over the top, and it's smacked down by Kentaro Nakao.
Oh, and they throw it right away into the middle of traffic.
Well, the wind wreaking havoc on several of these throws on this second point. John Randolph just finished his college career at Brown, and he just makes it look so easy. If there ever was a guy ready for a seamless transition, John Randolph is that guy. Of course, he won a national title with Seattle Sockeye.
Yeah, definitely could be one of those up-and-coming players in the American Ultimate scene, especially here with Pony. He's been in the U.S. youth system for several years now, as here's the float. And for those who are not familiar with Antoine Davis, he does not lose many aerial battles. So outstanding athleticism to get that disc, but then a loss of control. Randolph celebrating the goal in an elimination game at Worlds. Stakes are higher now for this Pony team. They've had a relatively easy tournament. It was close against Mooncatchers back in the power pool, but they know the tests are coming.
Well, there's a Japanese road ahead for Pony, both here and then in the quarters, which would be tomorrow. Winner of this game advances to the round of 8. Loser is battling for 9th place over the next 48 hours. And this feels like an early must-score point for Nomadic Tribe.
Yeah, and right now, Evan, the wind has completely done a 180 on us.
Yes.
They're now going downwind here with this latest gust, which will definitely help them. And it's just, Pony is so sure with their opportunities, and now a gift here to this Nomadic Tribe team.
Marquez Brownlee missed that sideline by about 5 yards on the pull. Nomadic Tribe finished 6th 4 years ago here in Cincinnati. They were the top team from Japan. Buzz Bullets was suspended. Nomadic Tribe has long been in the shadow of the Buzz Bullets program, but they have shown numerous times they can compete. There's a moon ball. It's floating up there. Jeff Holm, the nearest defender, and skying over the top of everybody. Kentaro Nakao has the goal.
Holy smokes, we're seeing this. The athleticism of this Nomadic Tribe team on full display. 2 aerial shots, and they've been able to come down with the disc both times. This one just helping, trailing the play, coming in and ripping it away.
Not the intended target on the play, but who cares? Heck of a play by Nakao, and one the Nomadic Tribe desperately needed.
They're going to need plays like that in this game against Pony. They're going to need guys to play above their level of capabilities, being able to, I mean, if you could add 3 or 4 inches, this is what the game that Nomadic Tribe would want to do that for.
Nakao's the leading scorer in terms of goals and assists on the tournament. That's his 15th goal. He's got 9 assists. Nomadic Tribe lost to Ring in an early tournament game, 15-9. Also suffered a 15-12 loss to Clapham. And then in power pool action, lost a nail biter to Goat, 15-14 in a wild finish. But the most lopsided victory in the crossover round this morning belonged to Nomadic Tribe against the Rascals. Not sure this poll's coming back. Look out.
Yeah, it's just tough to gauge this wind right now. It keeps moving, it keeps changing. We mentioned last point it was going to be a downwind point for Nomadic Tribe. Now it's more of a crosswind. It's just going to be one more element these teams are going to have to face. But both times, I don't think the disc went out after the brick mark in the last point or in this one, but this is where they're going to be taking it.
Interesting, John Randolph out on offense this point. First cut to Mickle. And here is Randolph underneath. The veteran Sean Keegan over to Little. Very few break the mark like Sean Keegan. He has been such a steady backfield handler for so long. Keeping the disc moving, gets it back from Babbitt. Flings it over the top, and Randolph backpedaling, flat-footed, hauls in his 2nd score.
Keegan's one of the few ultimate players in the game that can see that play developing and knowing where he wanted to put the disc. Randolph kind of tailing off into the break space, and then Keegan just throws it over everybody, putting the right amount of English on that disc to have it drop down into the lap of Randolph.
Well, Randolph is the leading scorer from a goal-scoring perspective this tournament for Pony. Jimmy Mickle has the most combined scores if we're talking goals and assists. And Randolph, Tyler, just scratching the surface. You mentioned his youth upbringing in Seattle. And he was playing semi-pro Ultimate for the Cascades as an 18-year-old high school senior before he ever played a college Ultimate game. And has just gotten better and better.
Yeah, he just graduated out of college over the past few years, and he already has 14 years of high-level Ultimate experience, which is outstanding for this youngster on this team. Going to be a guy to watch for sure, already making an impact on a talented line with Mickle and Keegan and Yacht taking all the headlines.
4 trips to college nationals for Randolph, who, by the way, remains out on the field for this deep point. He's played all but 1 point so far. 4 years of college nationals. 3 trips to the semis, 2 trips to the finals, 1 championship, 2019 over North Carolina.
Pretty good, especially in a program like Brown.
Nakao connects with Nemoto. And into traffic and tumbling backwards, but hanging on was Taiki Goto. And very impressed with the disc skills of this Nomadic Tribe team. Their fundamentals, throwing, catching, pivoting, cutting. They see things well on the field.
Yeah, and they seem to be communicating very well. They know exactly where they want to go, and the throwers know where each receiver likes the disc.
Tremendous chemistry. It's a good holster. And a better reset. Seki, low throw, on the line, not in. Seki gets it back and scores. Nakao with the assist.
Nakao trying to tumbleweed into the end zone, unable to get the right touchdown, but didn't wait for anything to develop, didn't have a conversation, immediately just stood up and threw it to his wide open teammate.
Well, that's 2 very smooth, well, I should say 1 very smooth point. The other was a great sky and a 50-50 disc hanging up there by Nakao. A good end zone offense from the Nomadic Tribe.
Yeah, they got broken that one time, but only 2 turnovers for this O-line for Nomadic Tribe, which I think is a very strong start for them in these conditions against one of the top seeds in this tournament. They know the pressure is on. Stepping up in a big way in this first half. It's if they can sustain it, and then when are they going to be able to get that break?
Well, only one of the first 5 points has had any turnovers. 4 clean holds. Pony with a 1 break. John Randolph finally gets a breather. Babbitt, Little, Lithio, Mickle, Garvey, Yacht, and Keegan.
That's just such a great line. I mean, if USA Ultimate did All-Stars amongst their top division, I mean, you could easily put all 7 of those guys on the top 3 teams.
Yeah, you could envision each of these guys being an all-club player. Many have gotten recognition in the past. Keegan back to Garvey. Slices the backhand through the 2 defenders. This is an interesting Japanese defensive look. Sometimes Japanese teams can be patient setting the mark. Deep shot for Yacht. He can't come up with it. On the second effort, he also comes up empty.
Another outstanding play in the air. Nomadic Tribe making it happen. That time was Yuki Otani rising up.
This is the first break chance for the Nomadic Tribe, and they turn it over.
And there's a breaking coverage. Garvey doesn't realize it. Eventually, Nomadic Tribe able to recover.
Garvey. Back to Mickle. And Jimmy throws it through the arms of Little, pop to the air. Ben Yacht saves the day. It's a goal for Pony, not how they drew it up.
Yeah, but when you have a player like Ben Yacht, 6'6", can go up and just rise over everybody on the field. It's great having that support. But man, that could have been ugly there as it just went right through the hands for Pony.
Technically, Garvey still gets credit for the assist. After Yacht could not make the catch earlier in the point, he makes amends. Just a errant reset there. A gift given to New York. I beg your pardon, Mickle with the assist. So 2 goals for Randolph, 2 goals for Yacht. And Pony up a break.
Jimmy's had a busy couple of weeks here lately. You've had a busy couple of weeks too, but he's been running around.
It's been a fun couple of weeks for the top ultimate players in the world. Spent a long time chatting with Tom Chulett, Team Australia, played for the Crocs, playing here with Ellipsis about an hour ago. We're just catching up about the state of international ultimate. He's saying how he really feels, you know, maybe not the next iteration, but maybe 2 iterations from now. The field already feels so much deeper, and it's just continuing to add depth and talent. And it's an exciting time.
Definitely.
International ultimate.
And this tournament showing exactly why. I mean, typically you see the U.S. teams and some of the top Japanese teams dominating play, but we're seeing it from all corners of the world, being able to get it done. Mooncatchers having an outstanding tournament. Multiple Japanese teams rising to the occasion. Clapham looks really impressive. It has been quite a fun tournament. And if you're watching, you obviously have an Ulti-World subscription. Make sure you put it to good use.
That shot, oh, just off the fingertips of the bidding tribesman.
Harito Hashiguchi, an outstanding bid, got full extension, but once again, just off the fingertips.
Beautiful bid, would have been a sensational catch, and I'm sure he feels like he should have had it. He was there. Easy for us to say. Jack Hatchett in what, for the moment at least, is his final tournament with Pony. Played against his new team, Portland Rhino, earlier in the weekend. In the week, I should say. This whole thing feels just like one long weekend. Meeser bluffs the backhand, gets it to Ben Katz.
Well, there's ultimate, there's beer, so that's how most of my weekends go, Evan. I don't know about you.
It's a long weekend. Randolph thought about the deep look to Ryan Drost, to Michael Drost.
You get a pass in that one. There's 2 of them.
Well, Ryan wears number 80 in the AUDL, but Michael wears number 80 for Pony. So it's very confusing.
Michael, an outstanding defender. You mentioned he plays with the Empire in the AUDL, one of the best that the league has seen over the past several years.
Holds the league all-time record in blocks. And his brother Ryan second. And closing fast. Stoppage here. Alati. Up the line for Randolph. John Randolph just makes getting open seem so simple. It's not that simple, but he dishes to Meeser. 2 goals and an assist for JR. Meeser's in the book, and it's 5-2 as Pony registers its second break.
Yeah, a nice little push pass there from Randall on this wind. He's had such a strong start in this contest. Again, a great tournament. We're going to talk about him a lot for years to come. And his teammates are doing a great job of giving him the disc too. They know he's one of their top talents, so why don't you feed the beast?
Well, when you get a cut named after you and you're not even 25 years old yet, I mean, the Randolph cut, just that quick little one step one way and then explode the other. I'm not saying he invented it, but he is the leader in that cut right now. Brian Jones, defensive tactician for the Pony coaching staff. Working with Ben Van Hoevelen, mentioned Justin Pierce, and Cody Mills, who's certainly well regarded in the ultimate world. coaching Cal Poly Slow in the college ranks, coaching Revolver these past couple years. And from what we understand, Cody has been an immediate addition helping out Pony. They're starting to use some of Cody's terminology. Hasn't taken very long for Mills to make a mark.
Yeah, one thing we've seen over the past several years as Pony has risen to the top of the U.S. scene, just growing that coaching staff that really some of the other top teams in Men's Club Ultimate haven't seen over the past couple of years. You're seeing that investment from the players and the staff, just going above and beyond what typically has been expected.
They're looking for the deep shot. They're taking it. Yuasa is there, sliding for the score, beating William Dean long.
The Tribe may be down by 2 breaks here, but they have been able to string together some impressive points, some impressive throws, some outstanding layouts. They're going to have the highlight reels in this one so far. But just a beautiful toss, dropping it right down there. This team's having fun. They're enjoying it.
Yeah, they bring a real positive energy to the field. And that last point, I mean, they had 5 or 6 deep cuts that were looked off before they finally hit the right shot to Yuasa.
Well, on this team, they've already broken seed. They came in the 17 to 24 range, so right there in that 4th tier. So they're in the top 16. It's guaranteed they're going to break it. Obviously, of course, they would love to be able to match or surpass the 6th place finish that they had back in 2018. But breaking seed, I mean, it could be a little bit of house money right now.
Tyler, it is a tad bewildering why they were seeded so low. And typically, the previous event has a large part to do with seeding. That's why Sydney Sunder was the 2 seed coming in. And they're good, but I don't think anybody expects them to be as good as they were when they had these 2 Pony stars, Jimmy Mickle and Chris Kocher. Kocher, by the way, still dealing with a hamstring injury, not playing here. As Keegan looks for Yacht, and it's perfect. Wow. Just shy of the goal line. It looked like the Tribe and Yamamura So might have a play on it, but foul called after Yacht makes the clean, easy catch.
I was thinking the same thing as you, Evan. I thought it was going to drop down, but Keegan's such an able thrower. That one did not drop, just arced perfectly against this crosswind.
Yacht for Keegan. Just running vertically upfield. Had a step on Wataru Tashiro, and this Nomadic Tribe team, which I said started with 5 straight breaks and had 9 breaks in their win this morning, struggling to slow down the Pony O-line attack.
Yeah, Pony offense yet to throw a turnover. Very strong start. Much of what we've seen throughout this tournament for them offensively. Very stout, very solid. As crowds starting to gather here, getting near the end of the tournament. Some teams have been eliminated. Some teams are in consolation games. As these consolation games happen, some teams are done. We aren't quite there yet, but it's a little bit less serious and more time to enjoy some high-level Ultimate Frisbee.
And most importantly, the sky is clear right now. No lightning in the area, which paused us for about 4 hours earlier today. Quarters on Thursday, semis on Friday, and the championship triple header with a mixed division going first at 10 a.m. Eastern, the open final at 12:30 p.m. in the early afternoon, and then the women's final, the 3rd and final title game at 3 p.m. Eastern time here on Saturday. There were a handful of wall-to-wall soccer park conversations earlier today. Everyone remembering what happened 4 years ago. But we knock on wood and play on.
We don't need those conversations. Get those out of the way. An interesting setup here for Nomadic Tribe, kind of like an L shape in terms of a stack. 2 guys playing horizontal, 2 guys vertical.
Get it off the sideline nicely after Hatchett's roller pull. Determined to break the mark, and they do. Takuya Seki. Seki marked by Brownlee, and downfield, Hatchett's footsteps couldn't stop Yuasa, whose cross-field shot is incomplete.
Pony's defense is doing such a good job of just keeping the disc down the field, really cutting off the middle options. They're allowing the resets, and they're allowing players to cut deep. With this wind, obviously you love for them to throw the disc as much as possible, and you have to trust your downfield defenders in this deep space.
Brownlee back for Randolph. Fourth break chance for Pony. They're looking for their third break of the half. Lindsley for Hatchett. And he'll fling it forward. Jabron Meeser all alone. Pony rolling toward the quarters.
A lot of credit to Jabron Meeser at that point. He had the pull, which really forced Nomadic Tribe into a rough situation on the sideline. A nice little roller pull that landed in the middle, and I thought it was going to eventually drop with this wind, but it just rode down nicely, forcing this rough, deep look as the offense wasn't moving much for the Japanese team. And then he's there for the goal. Nice little floaty flick over the top.
Two goals for Meeser, along with Yacht and Randolph, each with 2 goals apiece. Jabron Meeser, such an incredible defensive player, a speedster who has really blossomed in this Pony system. A lot of people thought he might have a pretty good chance to make the World Games team. That's the kind of caliber of defender he was and is.
Yeah, he's one of those players that lives on the defensive side of the disc, really does everything well, covers the deep space really well, really does a good job of shutting down players that like to have the disc. Just kind of a jack of all trades type of player. But right now for Nomadic Tribe, they really just need to extend the half as much as they can. Obviously they have to work on Owen. They've had some turnovers, but I think 4 turnovers for an offensive unit isn't too bad in these windy conditions, but they need to get their defense out here to try and win some points.
New York's O-line only has the 1 turnover, and Nomadic Tribe did not do anything with it. Randolph, Lindsley, Drost, all out there defensively.
Really compact horizontal stack here for Nomadic Tribe. You're seeing handlers come in and out. Sometimes those end cuts.
Deep shot going up. And the throw just taken by the wind.
Yeah, sometimes those end cuts by these Japanese players come in to rotate out the handler position to really kind of cause a kink in the Pony defense, preventing them from being able to make some poaches, forcing you to respect all 7 players on the field. And this is a rare deep shot that was unable to stay in bounds for Nomadic Tribe. For the most part, they've done a good job of keeping it in, and then a timeout here by Pony as they look to punch it in here for the half.
Well, they'll just catch their breath a little bit. Opportunity to pick up their 4th break in 5 chances and march to take it to the half. They haven't been bashful, Tyler, about taking the deep shot, and they haven't been far off, but just a little bit off, and that's been enough.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the wind has been a huge factor of it. They are just so close on many of these looks. Obviously, this last one notwithstanding, but I mean, from the athleticism that we've seen from these guys and how they've been able to jump vertically, you have to be happy. They've been able to match the athleticism of Pony, at least in these early stages. Obviously, Pony hasn't needed to use their athleticism more with a 7-3 advantage. But man, just it's a game of inches, and right now with the wind, that window is a little bit smaller for a team that likes to put it down into the end zone.
This Pony team certainly enters the season with an interesting mindset. You know, they were very close to their 2nd national title. losing by 1. A lot of talk about should they have received the opening pull. They won the toss, chose to play defense, and the championship game had the same number of breaks, 2 per side. Ring winning their first title. And there's certainly a budding rivalry between those two teams. We may see them in the finals here on Saturday for the first showdown since that classic national final in San Diego.
Are you a receiving guy or a pull guy? What do you choose?
You know, when I played as a captain in college, I would usually want to start on defense because I'd be confident that we could take half and then start with the disc in the second half. But that's also a high variability game. At this level, in games where you don't expect there to be that many turnovers, I think offense is the right choice because you get that extra half break if you can use it to your advantage. Well, that's a lofty throw from Lindsley, but Davis able to leap and haul it in. Back to Little. Oh, you look
at
at
backfield.
Yeah, you look at this D-line and so many accomplished offensive players on it, including Grant Lindsley. And how about that? Oh, Grant.
A poach defender right there in front, trying to cut off any cuts to the front cone, and it didn't matter. Pony using their handler movement, push pass for the score. Pride of New York is rolling here in the first half.
There's something a little cruel about that throw. Just a throw that you'd see in Mini on a Saturday afternoon, not at the World Championships in the round of 16. But wow, what a impressive first half for Pony. It was 3-2, and then a 5-1 run from there for the Pride of New York. Couple assists in the half for Grant. And an 8-3 lead for Pony.
Yeah, and really with this win, I mean, I wouldn't be too disappointed with 6 turnovers, but Pony's just been so efficient. 4 for 5 in their break chances. That's outstanding, and they haven't given Nomadic Tribe much to do with it anyways. Only 1 turnover for the O-line, 1 turnover for the D-line. Holds are relatively clean. Clean holds have been relatively clean. It's been a good half for Pony. Much of what we've seen for the first half of this tournament.
So it's 8-3, Pony leads at the half here on a windy but pleasant afternoon in Ohio.
The last 50 years have seen a lot of positive change
around a whole range of important issues.
And some things remain reassuringly unchanged.
Like the spirit of our game.
Ultimate is 50 years young
and still a perfect circle
of fair play,
athletic pursuit,
and camaraderie.
In fact, Ultimate was a social network
before social networks even existed.
Respetamos nuestras diferencias
and understand the value that they add.
The revolution of the disc in flight continues to prove
that there's nothing we can't achieve
when we
pull together.
Long live Ultimate!
Larga vida Ultimate.
Long live Ultimate.
We are back. Pony up 8-3, and Tyler Byram with Ben Van Hoevelen.
Coach, a great first half for you guys, especially on the offensive side. Only one turnover for that offensive unit. Is this what you guys have been able to do all tournament offensively, be able to play clean, steady Ultimate to get to this point?
Yeah, we had a really strong day yesterday against a couple of really good teams, which I think was great reps for us to perform well out here. It's a windier day today than it was yesterday, so it's a slightly different challenge, but we have some extremely good throwers, and we tend to feel that a windy game benefits us. So, yeah, they've been executing great.
You said you think a windy game tends to go your guys' way, but this is a team that played in very different conditions early on today. While you guys were back in the hotel enjoying life a little bit, was there any concern about how you guys would be able to come out in this contest?
Well, I mean, of course, you're always on guard for, not wanting a lull, but I think the team was very aware of the fact that this is an elimination game. We were able to watch these guys play, have some game tape on them from other games as well. We know that they're a really strong opponent, so there was not I was not worried that our team would come out complacent.
Evan and I have had a good time watching Randolph on your guys' team, being able to play both ways a little bit, but what does he bring to a team that already has a ton of talent on the offensive line and just the youthfulness, playing with some of the top players in this sport, and then being able to perform at the highest level?
Yeah, I mean, John's a Swiss Army knife. You can kind of use him anywhere. He's great as a handler. He's great downfield. He's a matchup nightmare, so it's lovely to have him on offense. And then I think he's one of the best handler covers in the world. So, yeah, he's a great person to be able to plug in on both sides of the disc. And, shout out to guys like John Lithio and, Sam Little and, Jeff Babbitt, who have come into our O-line and give us the depth where we can cross John over and don't have to play him every point.
Any changes in the second half, or you happy with it?
Well, I think our game plan, our defensive game plan is really solid. I think there are ways that we can execute on it just a little bit better, which is what Brian was just talking with the team about. But no, I think foot on the gas.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks a lot.
Evan?
Thanks, Tyler. That's Charlie and Ella's dad. BVH wanted to give a shout out to his 8-year-old and his 5-year-old. Charlie and Ella got a proud pop. 8-3, Pony leads Nomadic Tribe at the half.
Okay, my name is Nas. I play with Isnagood from Paris. We just have a very good game against Thunder. We beat them in reverse. We are very happy because we started the weekend with a big loss against Cubes, and we were struggled a lot in offense. But now we are back in the game, so pretty happy for that. The day is not over. We still have one big game, but we're going to be there with a lot of confidence for sure. Yeah, it's great to be here. I mean, I play. It's my 6th World Club in a row. I play with 6 different teams here. My first time was in Knicks in Hawaii 2001. And I play with Ironside, Pony in the US. I play with Canada too, Goats. So it's amazing to be back in the big event after COVID and see a lot of friends on this tournament. And I can see the feeling everyone is happy to be here. So and fight for the big game. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for the tournament for sure.
Well, Nasser Mbaye-Vogel is one of the legends of the sport. How about 6 straight worlds with 6 different teams? Any team would want that guy. Still, at age 43, he can still ball. As we get set for the start of the second half, Pony on D. Evan Lepler, Tyler Byram, along with you as Nomadic Tribe looking for answers against this Pony D-line that is deep and fast and plays with a tactical intelligence that you don't see too often in the sport.
Yeah, and you saw Jack Hatchett there with the roller pull. That's something he's done for years. We saw him doing it for a long time with Boston club teams, the Boston semi-professional teams.
Oh, there's the trademark Ben Katz poach. He saw it the whole way.
he's owed one a game, pretty much. It's almost like the Frisbee gods are like, you deserve this, here you go.
And a laser hatchet to Drost. 9-3 New York.
Yeah, and Pony is not doing anything too complex when it comes to offense for their D-line. A vertical stack, cuts coming from the back, except when they get close to the end zone, when they really try and swing around to score. And just an easy read and an easy poach here for Katz. Reading the continuation of the play, just showing his ultimate intelligence.
Now 4 goals in a row for Pony. This was 5-3 and felt like a relatively competitive game after the early break that made it 2-0. There were 3 straight holds for this Nomadic Tribe O-line, but Pony has absolutely taken a stranglehold on this game.
Pony's D-line has come out for 8 points in this game, and they've been able to score on 5 of them.
Pretty good percentage.
It's a very good percentage. Typically, if you can get anything above 30%, that's a pretty solid D-line. They're in the 60s right now.
Yeah, BVH told us a story pregame about how they run a. Well, we're taking a look at the Ben Katz poach here from the overhead shot, just seeing it the whole way. As good as Pony's D-line has been, the O-line has typically won the battles in practice. They do a drill called pressure cooker, where they basically play a half of ultimate. The D-line versus the O-line. The D-line is always pulling. After each point, they take a 2-3 minute break to try and simulate that game day experience where the offense comes off and then the retakes the field for the next point. The D-line wins if they get more than 1 break. The D-line has not won yet in practice this season.
I mean, that's tough to do, especially on a team with so much depth, so many high caliber players, but it just shows how high of a level this O-line is operating this year. We've seen it in this tournament. We're seeing it now, but it just makes the defense better. It forces the defense to try different things, to be aggressive.
See the Pony defenders just hopping into the lanes, disrupting the throwing angles. There is a deep look here. Extra defender comes to help out, and uh-oh. Well, Holm makes the catch, but Pony's William Dean is down.
Yeah, immediately calling over to the medic. Field's a little bit slippery today with the rain we had.
Great hustle by number 14, Dean, and then just a hard landing, immediately grabbing that left knee.
You can see the reaction of the Pony players. As the trainer for Nomadic Tribe coming out to help, as they radio over to the medical tent to get some help out here.
William Dean, originally from Maryland, played at Harvard, played in Boston, has been a real solid player for a real long time, and hopefully William Dean is all right. We'll take a quick break.
Johnny Bansfield, play with Mooncatchers from Belgium. They invited me, they reached out to me a few months ago, inviting me to play for the Mooncatchers, and I of course said yeah. It's an obvious yes. You know, why wouldn't I play for a team going to Worlds? So, and so these guys are pretty tough. It's interesting playing with and against foreign teams. They're a bit different than playing for U.S. teams, in the fact that they don't play with the same kind of tendencies that the U.S. teams play. So it's a little different. It's harder to predict things on offense and defense, but it's a very interesting and intriguing change, and you know, very happy to be a part of it. Yeah, these guys have grit. They have a lot of heart, and the fact that they have a couple American players has boosted a lot of confidence throughout the whole team. You know, they see American teams as the best of the best, and having Americans as a part of the team gives the whole team an ingrained sense of confidence, and it's nice to see. So yeah, we went 4-0 in pool play. We went into the power pool and got second. That was excellent. We had a hard fight against Pony. Not as good as we wanted, but it was a fight. We had definitely had some adjustments to be made, but it was a fight that there's a lot left to give. That was definitely not the best battle we had, but going forward, we're going to be touching some stuff up, refining and fortifying.
Jesse Schaffner. I'm Austin. We got newbie Schaff here. Schaff, I know you said earlier this is the favorite team you've ever played with. Why is it that that's the case?
No, it really has been a great time. It's always a little, you know a little bit, but not for sure coming into a new team, especially at Worlds. And everybody has been just so welcoming, and the passion on the field and striving for greatness is like something I can just lean into and connect with people. So like
Totally.
The more we play points together, the more tethered we are, right?
Yeah.
And so that's felt really good to me as a new player.
I got to compliment you because you seamlessly just go out there and fit in perfectly with the team, and it looks great. Yeah, it's like you've been playing with us forever.
Oh, that means
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Well, and I got to compliment you because did y'all see her play D and then yoke those ones?
Yeah. I got to compliment the rest of my teammates because they're making my personal job easier. I think we all lean on each
Totally.
other and support one another, and yeah, it's easy. It makes it easy when everyone's so great.
Yeah. Last question, Austin. What is Phoenix trying to do here this week? Like, what's the goal?
W's. Want to win it. Want to win it all.
Amidst all the joy and enthusiasm and passion, a sobering scene here on the main showcase field as William Dean, defender for Pony, going up for a block and then coming down awkwardly, immediately grabbing the left knee. He has been down since the play. The training staff now lifting him and getting him onto a stretcher. Great athletic trainers and medical staff. Here's the Pony team just being together and hoping for the best. One of their brothers in tough shape right now.
Dean's a player that prides himself on being a good teammate, and injuries, they're a nature of sports, they're a nature of this game, they happen. They are never easy, but they're always harder when it's one of your players that you consider a close friend. And being a good teammate is being a friend with all 25, 26 other players up and down the roster. And this one might be meaning a little bit more for this Pony team.
A game that Pony leads 9-3. They are well in control, but much more important things on their minds right now than the result. Certainly a serious injury here for the veteran pride of New York defender William Dean.
Yeah, this is a big complex here, the Lebanon Sports Complex. They were quickly able to get medical trainers out here, a golf cart, and they took their time trying to figure out the best method of how to proceed with him, and right now they want to take him off the field.
Well, Chris Kocher not playing in this game because of a hamstring injury that's been still lingering. He warmed up, not playing. Here's one more look at what happened. Holmes, the trailing defender, Dean's the trailing defender, and just landed awkwardly.
And in our player survey that is sent out before the tournament that helps us call all these games, William Dean said that his sporting hero is Chris Kocher, from the way he built himself as a player from the ground up, and Kocher going over. Just give him some words before he's escorted over to the medical tent.
Something that can happen on any point in any warm-up, in any practice, in any workout, you just never know. Seize the day, approach every day like it could be the last, and care for each other.
And immediately now these players, they have to try and compartmentalize what they just went through, a friend, a player down. And now they're back out, trying to get a break.
Jimmy Mickle taking the field in Dean's stead. This is a deep point for Pony. They've scored the last 4 points in the game. 7 of the last 8. Mickle hits Evan Paget. Solomon Rushmeyer Bailey. Teammates with Randolph at Brown. Oh, Mickle used his long reach to get past Taku Hona. Isaac Saul out there. Floating it to the end zone. Saul, perhaps one throw away. Mickle over to Rushmeyer Bailey to make it 10-3.
So after that long stoppage, tending to William Dean, Pony's able to come out and convert on the break. Mickle coming out, being a big substitute for this D-line. And it was just methodical. Down the field, not trying to force the issue. Lots of swings, lots of handler movement. And despite the situation they were just in, they were just mechanic in being able to continue to convert these break opportunities.
So Pony with a comfortable lead, and appears a timeout has been called. This is my guess where Ben Van Hoevelen shines. He is truly a coach that specializes in mentality and getting into the right headspace. And when one of your teammates goes down like what we just saw, it can really hurt you. It's hurting us up here in the booth. This is a tough scene right now. I mean, the ultimate, which felt so important 15 minutes ago, you're reminded that there are other things and that this is just a game, even though we care about it so deeply.
And in situations like these, you have to find ways to be able to release that emotion in a way that is both cathartic for you and also able to not consume you, if that makes sense, because bottling it down never does anybody anything good. We're seeing multiple players in this huddle speaking. I'm sure some speaking about Dean, some speaking about how they're going to be able to rally around this moment and progress forward.
Ben Van Hoevelen spoke first, then Sam Little, it appeared. And Pony will retake the field on defense. 4 straight breaks, 5 straight scores from 5-3 to 10-3. And Pony is marching toward a quarterfinal matchup with either the Buzz Bullets or Mephisto from Montreal.
Yeah, if we can get a New York Montreal game, we've seen a couple of those a time or two. Both teams quite familiar with each other.
Buzz Bullet did take half 8-6 in that game. How about Is No Good leading Sockeye 10-9 right now?
They've had a great tournament.
They came from behind earlier today to get past Ellipsis with a big comeback. That would be a massive upset in the men's division.
Yeah, just imagine one of the top teams, one of the teams that has competed for championships before. If they were to fall out this early, that could open the door, really relook the bracket.
Everyone has a script of how they think it's going to go, but the ultimate gods can have very different ideas. Hatchet called for a foul or a strip and does not contest.
It looked pretty cut and dry. You need a video element to the USAU or WFDF rulebook. Just take that play right there.
It's been quite a while since Nomadic Tribe scored a goal, but that drought is over. It's Seki to Hashiguchi. Hashiguchi among the lead goal scorers in the tournament for the Japanese. 10-4.
Seki, one of the top assist throwers in the men's division as well, came into this game with 20. He's had a couple here in this game, but we talked about the mental capacity of Pony. It also affects the other side as well in Nomadic Tribe. I mean, you just witnessed a traumatic event, a team that you're competing against having to deal with that, and you obviously are feeling bad inside and trying to internalize what just happened, and you have the long break. You know the other team's going to come out firing, trying to play for Dean, and you have to move forward. You have to, as you said, understand that this is a game and the game continues on. But for them, able to come out, get a hold, the mental durability of both these teams were just shown in these last 2 points.
Just a minute or so away from 6 p.m. Eastern Time here in Southwest Ohio. Good morning to all of our Japanese viewers, and hope it is a pleasant Thursday. Yacht's going deep, and Mickle shooting. Ben Yacht going up, and he scores.
Yeah, when you just have the size of Ben Yacht, it's so tantalizing to try and test your deep throws. He just has such a mismatch on anybody that tries to cover him. Nomadic Tribe or really anybody else. Always a big end zone target. And a great attempt by Yamamura. So he rose. Looked like he tried to get as high as he could. But Yacht just such a big target.
I'm not sure there's a better handler to cutter throwing combo in the sport today than Mickle to Yacht. And look, there's a lot of good combinations, but those two guys can be pretty darn unstoppable in that situation. So it's 11-4 now. Pony 4 goals away from a spot in the quarterfinals. They won the national title in 2018. Before that, Tyler, it had been more than 2 decades since a New York men's ultimate team had made the semis at nationals. And it was really a tremendous and quick rise for Pony. They had never made quarters since the mid-90s until they finally got there in 2017, and they got smashed by Revolver. Revolver team that won the title for the 5th time in 8 years.
And since that strong tournament back in 2017, they've been able to make the quarterfinals every single year. You mentioned the championship. They also made it to the semis. Runner-up last year, of course.
Deep shot looking for Nakao, and it's Clark Kofer ready for the block.
But a couple years ago, Isaac Saul really took it upon himself and told his teammates.
As Lindsley shoots it for Davis, another jump ball, and Antoine Davis wins this one. Davis flips it up. Mark Lynn helps to punt spike it some more, and another break for New York to make it a 12-4 game.
But as I was saying, Saul, he approached the coaching staff first, and he was like, we've been a nationals level team, sometimes a borderline level nationals level team in the United States. But I really feel like if we put it all together, if we get the right personnel, we can move forward and break through and contend not only for nationals, but a national championship, which is a huge thing to say for the state of this team around that time. In 2016, they finished tied for 15th.
Yeah, they were better known for their Twitter account than for their actual on-field success, and I'm sure they're getting ready to heckle me right now, but that's just the truth.
Use the Wayback Machine if you want to find some fun.
Yeah, Isaac Saul has been a transformative figure for this program, and actually last night they retired his jersey number. This is going to be Isaac's last tournament with the team, and no one will wear number 19 again. And apparently a few weeks ago, a bunch of members of Pony, with Isaac not aware, they took an extra number 19 Pony jersey to the field at Randall's Island where they practiced. It was nighttime. They had cameras. They had headlamps. They had pickaxes. They dug a hole. They put the jersey in a box. They buried it. They took footage of it. Isaac had no idea until last night when they showed him the video, and I can only imagine how he was in tears of joy and appreciation. And it was the appreciation committee that put all that together, led by, among others, Evan Paget. To the end zone. That's a nice lunging score for Nomadic Tribe. Kentaro Nakao with at least one more highlight for his reel. 12-5, Pony leads by 7.
Japanese team still going after it, laying it all out there. Sometimes people would pull up, this game's out of reach. Don't want to get my jersey duty. Don't want to do an early load of laundry in this tournament. But no, this Nomadic Tribe team still trying to have some fun and play some great Ultimate. And even though the score line is very one-sided, this Nomadic Tribe team, they've been fun to watch, and you can see they're enjoying themselves. But as you were saying about Isaac Saul, I mean, retiring jerseys, especially in the club scene, they're very few and far between, but it just shows the impact and the significance he has not only on the players and his teammates that some he's been with for several years and some he's played against for several years, now playing with, but just his dedication to the club. And then, of course, it led to the conversation of them rising to a national contender and now making Worlds for the first time as a club team, which is always an impressive feat. He will be missed from the New York Ultimate scene, will be missed for the club scene. Great to see him going out at the highest stage that Club Ultimate has to offer. Nomadic Tribe still putting out kind of a poachy zone look.
And no matter what they've done, they really haven't flustered Pony much. New York still with just 2 turnovers for the game. 1 on O, 1 on D. Nice cross-field shot from Mickle to Garvey.
Good way to warm up some of those hammers going into the win. Might need those later in this tournament. They're still applying pressure. They aren't folding. Here's the shot, Mickle.
And Yacht reads it well. Just had such a size advantage. Oh no. And a bulldozing hit. Lithio colliding with his counterpart. Good to see everybody all right here. Lithio just tried to change direction, and the defender moved into that space at the exact same time. Not a vicious, malicious play, but still a tough bit of contact there, more than you'd like to see. Everybody all right? We restart. Yacht back for Little to Mickle. The Japanese defense here really into a 3-2-2 zone in this deep space, but slicing it through to Yacht, and Little is in. I hope he was in, otherwise it was a travel. He didn't really celebrate, but it looks like a goal, and we'll give it to Pony. That was a pretty ordinary goal for Pony right there. Little scoring it. Jeff Babbitt doesn't do ordinary, Tyler. I mean, he actually does. He can be very simple when he has the disc, but defensively, this was yesterday against Rhino. Jeff Babbitt coming out of nowhere and just delivering a trademark Babbitt block. I love Clark Kofer's reaction on the sideline, number 7. He knows what's coming.
Just coming in from the weak side, attacking. The defender had no idea that Babbitt was going to just come sprawling through the air. The big man. And if you've ever been around Babbitt and you've ever played against him, there are some tremors on the ground when he lands. Sending an earthquake there to Rhino as Pony was able to just really control that game. 15-8.
Well, this one is even more convincing. 13-5. Pony 2 points away from a date in the quarterfinals against either Buzz Bullets or Mephisto. Again, Mephisto was down 8-6 at half. It's now 10-7 Buzz Bullets. And what a day this has been for Nomadic Tribe. A 15-5 win early this morning. They thought that this game was going to take place at 1 o'clock Eastern. They had to wait 4 extra hours to play it. But they were all soggy, and they were playing through a near downpour earlier today. That deep shot is going to land incomplete again. Tyler Haskell.
Perhaps Nomadic Tribe would have wished it happened at 1 o'clock. Playing with some of those conditions we saw earlier.
Kofer looking for Haskell for the bookends, off his fingertips. And that's just the 3rd turn of the game for Pony, and their first since the score was 3-2.
Come on, Haskell. You got to represent the Tyler name better. A little too casual there in the end zone. Go up, attack that one.
His defense was good at the other end.
His defense was good, made me very happy.
You are a hard Tyler. Turned into a very nice night. The breeze feels great. These throwers are rendering the breeze as not a complete non-factor, but they're certainly handling it.
Well, we need the breeze because it's quite steamy if we didn't have it.
That disc, oh, somehow it gets all the way to Nakao. Looked like a couple Pony players were nearby potentially for the stop.
There have been so many of those this game. Those really haven't been the turnovers throwing through traffic.
A confident looking charge here from this Nomadic Tribe O-line.
I love it. I mean, we're at the point in the tournament. Point differential doesn't mean anything.
And that's beautifully done. Their second chance of the point, and they marched down the field like this game was tied, and they needed to score, and they just worked it beautifully.
And they're still smiling. They're down by 7. They're over doubled up. They're just enjoying themselves here in Cincinnati. Playing some great ultimate. Like I said earlier, they've already broken seed. It takes a special group of people to just have such joy at all times, even when facing adversity. That's Takuya Siki. Great tournament for him, the captain. Had more turnovers than he would like in this contest, but
still knows where the camera is.
He's been on the Japanese youth scene on the 2018 U23 mixed team. Calls his career highlight is playing here in this tournament. And he's delivered on the highest stage.
It was a breakout performance 4 years ago for Nomadic Tribe at this tournament. By the way, in an update from over on field 5, Seattle Sockeye now leads Is No Good from France 11-10. Mooncatchers 11-9 on Goat. Buzz Bullets 11-7 on Mephisto.
These are some absolutely incredible pre-quarters games that we have here.
Tomorrow morning, going to be the other half of the bracket in the round of 16. Ring against KFK, I believe. Babbitt going deep. Jeff Babbitt eats it up. Another dime from Mickle, and Babbitt makes it look simple, and it's 14-6.
Jimmy made him work for that one. He made him run all the way to the back of the field, testing the limits of that back line. A little bit of hand fighting from Babbitt to try and generate the space to run it down. As Jimmy Mickle, he's one of the most casual throwers in the game. Able to dink and dunk to the small ball, but he can uncork it and send it deep and put it on a rope to his downfield targets. Obviously with guys like Babbitt and Yacht downfield, they help a ton. But he puts them in a good spot. When carrying that one just a tad, but you're looking at the gold medalist from the World Games just a couple of weeks ago, looking to add another one to his collection through his career.
Very routine 5 assists for Jimmy, now at 25 in the tournament. Other men's pre-quarters, round of 16 games tomorrow. Ring and KFK, Cusp, Lafota, and Chalk. Italy-France showdown. How about Clapham Rhino in an interesting game? And then also Sunder and Furious. Australia and Canada will collide. If the favorites win out, we'd have quarters of Ring against Cusp, Sockeye and Mooncatchers, Sunder Clapham, and Pony Buzz Bullets, but there are plenty of underdogs ready to.
And we haven't seen as much on the men's side. We've seen Is No Good being a very good story and being able to provide the upsets, and Mooncatchers as well, jumping through in their pool, being able to beat the 5 seed Furious George, as well as Rhino.
Furious looked good earlier today against Mutiny. Watch some of that game. Nomadic Tribe throws it in for the score to make it 14-7 and send Pony's O-line on the field for a chance to finish it.
Takuhana playing in the World Games as well for Team Japan.
And I genuinely believe, Tyler, that it would have been a different World Games experience if they had arrived a few days earlier. They didn't get into Alabama as a team until like Saturday night, and competition started on Tuesday, and I'm just not sure they had enough time to really acclimate their bodies to the time change, to the everything new on the ground. They didn't do a pre-tour in the United States like the Germans did, like the Australians did. And the reason I feel so strongly about it is because they look like a very different team on Thursday than they did on Tuesday. And if they could have come a little bit more ready to play at the start of the tournament, I think they had the talent to do a little bit more damage. Still, we're pretty impressive winning the consolation bracket, finishing in 5th place.
Yeah, Japan's always been one of the countries that has performed very well at the highest stages of this game. Obviously, everyone's familiar with Buzz Bullets and Nomadic Tribe, as you said earlier, being the little brother to Buzz Bullets, excuse me. But they've had high quality Ultimate in Japan for several years now, spanning across multiple
decades. Camera operator, look out. Oh, May! She should have had it.
She was trying to protect the camera. She was playing defense there.
Our camera platform to the left, there's May. She usually makes that catch. But as you said, I agree, she was worried about the expensive equipment, the property of Ultiworld. Here's Keegan looking for Yacht, and near the sideline, that hits the ground. It's just the 4th turnover of the game for New York.
I think May's been playing maybe a little bit too much spike ball these past couple days.
You're pretty good on that spike ball set yourself there, Tyler.
You know, I went in trying to give them all low expectations and not show them that I've actually played this game before. I let them try and teach me when I actually already knew how to play it.
I mean, we have a National Player of the Year on our crew, and Claire Babbitt Bryan and other players who have represented at high levels of Frisbee, and you're like me, just a lowly, unathletic broadcaster, or so we thought.
Hey
but
now,
no.
hey now. I just wanted Claire to be on my team, if I'm being honest. That's what I wanted.
Testing Jeff Babbitt deep, and Babbitt gets a piece of it. He wants to make sure everybody realizes that he nicked it just enough.
He turned to the scorekeepers and rubbing the end of the fingertips.
That was just the second break chance of the game for the Nomadic Tribe D-line. They're 0 for 2. Another chance for the Pony O with Keegan and Mickle, Garvey and Babbitt, Little, Yacht, and Lithio. And here is Lithio.
I love how the mentality is the same for Pony. Just what's got him to this point. I mean, sometimes when you get here, you're like, yeah, you know what, let's have some fun. Let's throw it deep. But no.
Jeff Babbitt, folks, gives up his body with an effortlessness. Mickle to Yacht one more time. And that'll do it. 15-7 is the final. And everyone on Pony thinking about William Dean, who went down early in the second half with a scary apparent knee injury, and we're certainly thinking of William Dean, as Pride of New York is as well. But an impressive performance in between the lines from the runners-up at USAU Nationals a year ago. Jimmy Mickle, his 6th assist of the game. And a big second half for Ben Yannick. He was pretty good in the first half too. Pony moving on to the quarterfinals here at Worlds, the bottom half of the bracket. And you gotta like their draw, Tyler. I mean, they've got a possible showdown with Buzz Bullets. That's always a tricky game. And then Sunder and Clapham, the favorites on the other side of the bracket. If they can get through Buzz Bullets, I think Pony will be decent favorites against whoever emerges from the top half. Meanwhile, Sockeye, if they can survive is no good, has to battle with Ring. If they can get there, there's obviously a lot of permutations, but as the top American team in this half of the bracket, Pony in a pretty darn good spot.
Yeah, I'd much rather be in this half of the bracket than be on the top half of the bracket. Honestly, we talked about how everyone fills out their own bracket. I think the matchup might be Clapham if we're looking that far ahead. But again, we have a long way to go, a lot of games to be had, as we're at this point. This is where it gets really fun for a lot of us and for everybody else here watching these games, getting closer and closer to crowning a champion here in Cincinnati.
Down on the field, Claire Babbitt Bryan has Jimmy Mickle.
With Jimmy Mickle of Pony, what specifically worked so well for your O-line, having not been broken the entire game?
I think we knew Nomadic Tribe was going to come out and throw a bunch of looks. They weren't always going to be applying pressure in the ways that we're used to, so we knew we just had to be patient and not try to throw anything too difficult. So, I mean, we have a bunch of really talented players, which always helps. We definitely got bailed out on some not perfect throws by Ben Yacht and Jeff Babbitt, but that's why they're on the line. So, yeah, excited for tomorrow.
Great, and you have a couple days ahead of you with bracket play. What can we expect from you for the rest of this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we know it's a long tournament, and what we keep saying internally is that we need to get better every day, because if we're the same team we were when we started the tournament, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So I think, moving forward, we're going to keep working on our offensive line defense and our defensive line offense. So I think, O-line really knows how to play O, and D-line really knows how to play D, but we're definitely trying to grow by working on the opposites of those. So that's what we'll be thinking about going forward.
Sweet, thank you so much. Jimmy Mickle here. Back to you.
All right, Claire, thanks to you and Jimmy for that conversation. His second World Games gold a week and a half ago now in Alabama. And a great opportunity for gold. Not usual that the World Games and World Clubs are so close together, but with the World Games pushed back a year, it was this incredible month of Ultimate. July 2022, we're going to look back for a long time, and an opportunity for several members of this pony squad like Kocher and Lindsley. Obviously Mickle too. It's an impressive team, and they look good today. Hoping the best for William Dean. We're thinking about him and hope he'll be all right and on the sidelines tomorrow. 15-7, Pony wins it over Nomadic Tribe. Good night from Cincinnati.